fear, self-doubt, and talent on today's Wednesday Morning Drive. Hey everybody, and welcome to another Wednesday Morning Drive. Matt Cribbs here. How you doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I was had a little bit of cold over the weekend. I don't know if I was told like what it was or if I just got exhausted or whatever, but Monday was no fun, but recovered now, feeling better. Things are going well. It was kind of a crazy weekend. A lot of stuff going on. First of all, the Spanish Grand Prix Formula One was absolutely amazing. Unbelievable. Both Mercedes took each other out, Rosberg and Hamilton. I don't know who was at fault. I mean, I think it was a little bit of both. Rosberg closed the door a little bit too fast, and Hamilton was just a little bit too aggressive coming up at the inside. And anyway, it ended up with both of them being taken out of the race, which, rule number one of racing, Formula One, is you crash into anyone else you want on the track, but do not take out your teammate. So, oops. That had to be awkward meetings after that. And then Max Verstappen won the race. Youngest winner of a Grand Prix ever, I think, right? He's 18 years old and was just unbelievable. It's kind of crazy. And I was watching and I'm wondering, like, we'll see. I'm not doubting that he has talent. I'm not doubting that is true at all. But, a lot of the conditions of this win that he got were the fact that both Mercedes got taken out of the race, were the fact that both Vettel and Ricciardo from Ferrari and Red Bull, respectively, took the wrong strategy. I mean, well, in hindsight, it was the wrong strategy. But both Vettel and Ricciardo went on the 3-stop strategy, whereas Verstappen and Kimi were on 2 stops. And clearly, by the results, the 2-stop was the faster strategy. So, what would have happened if the Mercedes would have been there, if Vettel and Ricciardo couldn't have done there? I mean, would Max have been in the top 6? Probably. I mean, it was clear that the Red Bulls were faster than the Ferraris that weekend. So, we'll see what happens in the future. Whether he'll win another race this year, I don't know. Whether he'll win more races over the course of his career, unless something bad happens, I think that's almost a given. I think he's just starting out. The boy's 15 for 18. Unbelievable. So he'll be around more than I would bet he will be a world champion at some point, possibly multiple time world champion. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, amazing race. Very, very cool. And the other thing is I finished my Hackintosh. It's up, it's running. I have yet to record anything on it. I actually have a video, my last Lineage video I recorded on the old machine to edit. So I've been, I was like, all the parts were there. I'm like, I could edit this on the slow machine, or I can edit this on the super duper quick machine. And I just couldn't edit on the slow machine. Sorry guys. I know it's like a week and a half late, 2 weeks late now. But I just couldn't do it. I just could not bring myself to take an extra time editing on the slower machine. So that's that. Everything's working fine. I got it's running, it's dual booting Windows and Mac OS on separate SSDs. It's super quick, super amazingly fast. If you saw my old ARC video, I did one ARC video. And if you saw it, it was like a ugly, messy slideshow. Like, I had to crank things way down to even make the game playable. And even then, it was way under 30 FPS. It was bad and under 30. And 30 is like the minimum bar, because you can get away with 30 FPS videos. It's not that fun to play sometimes, but, you do what you got to do. And that was on the old one. On this new one, I had to do it. I loaded up ARC, I cranked everything all the way to its max, and smooth as butter. So amazing. It's going to be great for videos in the future. Quality, video quality, picture quality will go way up. who knows if the quality of me will go up. Hey, what can you do? So it's awesome. It'll be there. And yeah, there's two things not working. One, the onboard audio on my motherboard is not working. And I tried everything and I couldn't get it working. But, I realized that's okay. Because one, my mic, which is a USB mic, works. So that audio is fine. And two, I'm using for my main system audio, I'm using HDMI or DisplayPort. My monitor is connected via DisplayPort, and I'm using the HDMI/DisplayPort audio out. And that's working fine. So, do I care that the audio jacks that I'm not using don't work? No, I'm pretty much okay with that. And the other thing is, and I don't know if it's actually a problem with my mouse or with the Mac install or whatever, is I have a Razer Naga. And when I reboot into Mac OS, it is not on. And I have to mess with it. I have to disconnect it, reconnect it. I have to flip the switches between wireless and wired mode. And eventually, I'll be messing with it, and it'll come back and it'll work. It works right out of the box on Windows. It works in the BIOS sometimes. Half the times it doesn't work in the BIOS. I don't know if it's a motherboard setting. I don't know if it's a Mac OS driver setting. I tried. I've done... All USB is working, USB 3 is working, all of that's working, just this one device, the mouse, doesn't come up right away on macOS. And so that's like the last lingering thing I gotta fix. But there we go, that's it. So that was my crazy weekend. And then, yeah, it is what it is. So hope you guys had a good one too. Things that have happened, or saw one video and one post on Reddit that have been kind of sticking in my mind. And so the video was, well, I suppose video/podcast. I listened to the Still Untitled, the Adam Savage Project on YouTube on my way to work whenever it comes up. And so it's like a weekly, but sometimes they're all busy, so they don't do weekly thing. And the one this last week was about something that's very common. It was, I forget what the title was, but effectively, it was about, not being in the groove. Those things that happen to everyone, where you're working on something and you just feel like you have no idea what you're doing. And it ranges from, the mild side is like not being in the groove, like I just can't do this right now, or this isn't clicking, this isn't working for me, all the way to, and this happens, I think everyone, full-blown on imposter syndrome, where you're like, I'm total fake and I have no idea how to do what people think I know how to do. And you know what, believe it or not, that's a very, very common feeling. I've read it's especially in technology and programming fields, but everyone sometimes feels that way. They're like, I'm a total fraud. Everything you think I know, I don't actually know. Oh, we're gonna sit here for a while. I hope the vibration doesn't get too bad, because there's a train going by very, very slowly. I wish you could see this. It's going like, I'll put my finger on the border of a car. It's going that slow. And it's only like, I don't know, a dozen cars in front of me, so it's not that far away. It's not a distance thing going on. So yeah, everyone feels that they're an imposter sometimes, I think. I remember, thinking, growing up, that my dad, adults got it down. They know what's going on. My dad knows how everything's going on. And, I was waiting the whole time I'm growing up. I'm like, when am I going to feel that way? When am I going to know that I got it? And when am I going to feel like an adult? And I'll let you know when that happens, because so far, nope. Still feel like that, whatever 14-year-old boy faking it in a grown-up's body. And I think realizing that is actually what makes you an adult. Because you fake it well enough until you're not actually faking it anymore. So yeah, it's based experience and getting things done and learning little bit over little bit. But, you don't ever really, I think, feel that you're done and you got it and you're, you know, the master of everything, because there's so much out there and there's so much knowledge that no one can ever be an expert. And it's really true that the more you know that you don't know. And so there's this feelings of inadequacy that everyone has. And I think confidence is knowing that that's okay and that it's fine to feel that way and still doing things despite of that feeling and not letting it control you and that. But anyway, so that was the one video that was out there. Go watch the podcast. It's great. Adam and Will and Norm from the tested thing they do they have really great chemistry. You can tell when they're doing the podcast. They all enjoy it. They like each other, and at least they on camera like each other. I have no idea what the relationship is like off camera, but they work really well in the podcast setting. So that was that. And the other one was an article that appeared on Reddit that I saw today, specifically about programmers, and saying that, you know, programming was not a talent, but it was anyone could do it with, just, patience and working at it, and you don't need to be a passionate programmer to do that. It's just a skill that anyone can pick up, and it's not really that hard. And I thought, one, I disagree and I agree. Like, yes, it's just like any other skill or profession that you pick up, that if you work hard, or even if you work not so hard, you can pick it up. Like, anyone can pick up painting, anyone can pick up programming, anyone can pick up, sewing or cooking or basketball, and learn it. And the ease at which you learn something may be based on some of your natural attributes. Your height will make certain things easier, dexterity will, and you can do that. And you'll be anywhere from mediocre to good, depending on how much effort you put in and how much your natural attributes line up with the skills required for the task. I'm trying very hard not to use the word talent for it, because I think talent is a fancy way of saying I'm inherently good at certain things and they happen to line up with this skill. Like, certain people are taller. That's a fact. And so there are certain skills that being taller makes easier. Some people have a certain way of thinking that allows them to grasp abstract problems easier. And I'm not going to debate whether that talent, height, you get from your genes. That's pretty clear. Now, yes, there's environmental factors like your diet that can affect your final height, but most of it is going to be from your genes. Abstract thinking, I don't know if anyone knows whether you get that from your genes or you get that from your environment. The point is, by the time you're in a position to be able to use it, it is a attribute of yourself. Like, that is formed, that ability is formed much easier than later in life. Early in life, you get it out, it's given to you by the way you were raised and by either that or your genes, and you have it as a mature person when you can actually utilize it. So, given that you have these attributes, given that all that's true, it will make certain tasks easier. And I think that's what a lot of people call talent. So yeah, but the article's thrust was, I think, a good one. That it was, the goal of the article was to try and get more interest and break this myth that programming is a mysterious, difficult, arcane subject that only those that are super gifted and talented can ever have a hope to learn, and that actually any Joe Schmo can pick it up and learn it. And while I applaud that goal, we need more technically savvy computer people in the world. I don't agree that everyone should learn how to program. I don't think that's a skill that should that everyone needs, just like everyone doesn't know how to service an engine. Everyone should have a basic understanding of how their vehicle that they're driving every day works. They should know what the various parts are, but they don't need to have the depth of knowledge required to actually do all the repairs. just like programming, everyone should understand the basics of how internet works, how a program works, what software, things like that, because we use them every day. They're a part of our life, but not everyone needs to know how to write one. So yeah, and not everyone, I think, and not everyone who writes one is going to be the best at it. Just like, I think that's where it lies. There's the, imposter, or there's that, yes, anyone can learn it. And anyone, there's a wide range of dentists out there, and anyone can be a dentist if they, learn the skills, but you don't have to be, naturally talented or passionate to be employed as a dentist. Although if you are, you will, I believe, have more success. So, and I think the same is true of programming and any of that. So, what do these two things have together? You have this, on the one hand, the imposter syndrome, and everyone, I think, has this little seed inside of them that feels that you're not good enough. And on the other side, you have this article that, this thing that a lot of people think is arcane and difficult, isn't really when you look at it. And I think those two things they're basically tackling the same problem from different angles. And it's that nugget of fear, of self-doubt that everyone has, that can either prevent you from doing well at what you're working on currently, or prevent you from starting something new. And I don't think it's unique to building things. I don't think it's unique to programming. I don't think it's unique to anything. I think it goes to anything we do that requires work. And I think both of them are absolutely true, and they both boil down to fear. Like, if Adam Savage, of all people, has moments where he thinks he feels that he is not a very good person at making things, and if they had all sorts of famous people in this article, but all these famous, mythical figures in the programming world are saying that it's, they don't think it's all down to that you have to have a natural talent, and they know, these good programmers who aren't. And yes, that's anecdotal and it's not scientific proof. That's not the point. But, if both these things are true, embrace that. It's true. And so any of that self-doubt, any of that fear we feel, whether it be, those same feelings, I just suck at this, or I can't do that, I'll never be able to learn it, throw those feelings away. Because that's what both of those articles were trying to say, is that, that's called, hello vibration, that's called the human condition. We have these things, part of who we are, and part of, our personalities as a species, that self-doubt exists. And so conquer it and beat it, and know you're not alone. So that's the main thing. Like, everyone's gonna see it. Everyone sees it, and people are saying it. So yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, just do it. So hope you have a good week. I will see you next week, and enjoy. Bye. And I'm not going to turn the camera off right now because I am driving and it is getting narrow. And he is going to park. All right. Later. Bye.